I wish somebody would have came and asked me. Like, in my mind, I'm like, I didn't even know what's going on. Even though I knew this, that the person had said it to me, I didn't exactly know that it had been said outwardly and everybody had already had a prejudgment about me on it, whether it was true or not, which was 100% not true.
She always got something to say. Oh, no, she didn't. Oh, yes, she did. No, she didn't. Yes, she did.
We gonna cry a little. We gonna laugh a lot.
I like
to hear real shit.
Keeping it real.
In the right spot.
Come on,
Let's
y'all.
talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
What's going on, you guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm your girl Jamaica, of course. If you are new here and you do not know what to do here, I got the answer. Maybe not to all your problems, but I got the answer to this one. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and just like that, you are locked in. You are a jewel with jewels for life. My love is your love, like Whitney Houston said. If you have been here before and you are still here, you are still rocking, you still tuning in, you still supporting, what's going on? What's up? Before I get into this video, I'm gonna put some Vaseline on my hands. For some reason, every time I edit these videos, I see my hands and they are so ashy, and I'm like, can I keep going on there like that? Okay, hands are greased, there's no ash, we're in there. I want to touch on this topic of church hurt, and I've experienced it. I'm going to kind of give my story on how I experienced my church hurt and why it's so valid. Like, a lot of people think that that idea they have of people in the church house, Christians, are very judgmental, just like not the people you want to be around, and it leads people away from God, and it leads people away from learning even just a tad bit about being a Christian and being a child of God. During my time of homelessness, I was introduced to this church. Lord knows that I needed it. So I was introduced to this church out here in Minneapolis on the north side. I was going with the person that had introduced me to the church. Wonderful church. Really enjoyed the people. Really enjoyed just kind of the vibe, what I was learning. Even though I grew up in the church, it was like the first church that I went to where we actually read from the Bible. I didn't know that as a kid when I was going to the other church. So this church was like, okay, I knew it. I needed it. I was homeless at this time, so I needed anything that was like calming to my spirit and reassuring about my life. Go to this church. Fast forward, because I'm going to try to give y'all a quick pick. Fast forward. The girl I was going to church with told people in the church that I slept with somebody in the church. And the person in the church was a man in the church, like a leader in the church. I don't know why she did it. Me and her was getting along. She's way older than me. At this time, I was in like my late 20s. She was well into her 40s. Anyway, spread this lie, told people that I slept with this man at the church, which was crazy because how it came to me was one of the ladies at the church called me and said, I don't know if you know this or not, but XYZ said that you slept with XYZ. And I said, what? Why would they say that? And just so many things just started to unfold and unravel. How I knew it outside of being told it was I went to the church one day and everybody was looking at me crazy. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody spoke to me. And I was just like, I wish somebody would have came and asked me. Like, in my mind, I'm like, I didn't even know what's going on. Even though I knew this, that the person had said it to me, I didn't exactly know that it had been said outwardly and everybody had already had a prejudgment about me on it, whether it was true or not, which was 100% not true. I'm getting there. Like, everybody was treating me weird. Everybody was treating me different. So the first lady of the church, me and her had exchanged numbers. We had been talking the whole time I was homeless. Like, she knew I was homeless. She was like very supportive of me. She was helping me out. She was giving me money for food. Like, she was very helpful. So when I came to her with the situation, she was like, yeah, I know. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Now, I cannot hold this woman accountable. And when I say this woman, I mean the first lady of the church. The girl who had lied on me, the woman who had lied on me, had told all my business about me being homeless. I mean, like, it was terrible. I couldn't believe this. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. You introduced me to this church, and then you turn around and you do this maybe after a month or so of going there. Why would you do that to me at a point I was in my life? Now, it did two things to me. One, I left the church. Once I had that prejudgment, once everybody was looking at me crazy, once nobody talked to me, like, nobody came and said, Jamaica, just like clarification, or let's just ask you, or let me just tell you know what's going on, but we still love you in this church. You know, is it something you want to talk to us about? Had it had really been a situation that was true, nobody came and said, let me talk to her about it. Everybody just immediately judged me, just immediately shunned me. It was terrible. So I left the church. That's the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened is, and this is what I tell people about having that one-on-one relationship with God and why it's so important. Just because I had experienced that church hurt does not mean that I took anything from God. I left the church, but I did not leave God. And God left the church with me. Not that God left them in the church, but God said, okay, you don't need the church to know me. You just need to know me. And so I left the church because I was hurt. And that was the first time I had experienced church hurt. But I also knew that God was with me. I also knew that what I knew about God and what God had knew about me was all I needed. And I left the church and never went back. I kid you not. That was like 2018. I never went back. Never went back. And the woman who told the lie about me, I kid y'all not, that girl is in prison. That woman is in prison for shooting her child's father in the head. And all I could think about was I didn't have to do anything. I let that situation happen. I did not have to do anything. I felt like, oh my God, these Christians are judging me. But I also felt like it doesn't change my relationship with God. It doesn't change my relationship with Christ. I don't have to come to this church to know God. And that's what I hear a lot of people say when they say, oh, if they've never been to church before, if they don't go to church often, and you say, oh, you go to church, they're like, I don't need to go to church. In a way, yes, God is wherever you are. If you want to read your Bible at home, fine. But fellowshipping, as I said in my previous videos, and actually being in a place with God where you are surrounded by other people under the sound of God, under God's obedience, under God's everything, is why it's important to go to church. At that time, I just felt like I didn't need to go to church. That had happened to me. I was already hurt. I already went through so many things. I was already struggling. And that was the last piece of hope that I had. That church, going to church, being in that space was the last piece of hope I had. And the devil took it away from me by using somebody and spreading lies about me. But the devil did not take away God from me. If anything, it strengthened me. Because I was like, okay, now it's really me and God. Now I can't really seek the help how I wanted or felt like I should seek the help to receive help. God was with me the whole time. And so people who experience church hurt, I've been there. That's why I say I know what it's like when you think Christians judge you, or when you think it's just a bunch of judgmental, self-centered, people in the church house. I'm not going to say that for every church, because the church I go to now is beautiful. It's lovely, and it just feels authentic and genuine. But you are going to go to some churches. You are going to experience that. And some of you already may have experienced that. Some of you may have never experienced that. But if so, it's a very valid thing. What I took away from it was that God is not in it. It's the people. It's the people. The people are in it. The people are doing what they do. But God is going to continue to be God. God is never going to change. God is always, always, always going to be faithful. He's always going to be, just a good thing. And God remained good to me even after I left. He stayed with me even after I left. And that church is no longer actually that church. When God say let him have the last word, let that man have the last word. That church is no longer the same church. It's no longer under the same people. That woman who told that lie about me and spread it all over the church and just kind of really made that last year or two of homelessness in my life just tragic by taking away something that was helping me, is sitting in prison. I mean, I don't wish anything on anyone, but God's going to do what God's going to do. Let God do what God do. If you experience church hurt, I totally get it. But you don't need the church to have God. Do I think you should go to church? Yes. Do I think there's something you're going to get when you're there in that element with those people? There's a different level of love that you're going to get. There's a different feeling of Christ that you're going to gain. And you can't get that in your house. I'm sorry. But you don't need to go to church to God's only going to see me at church. No, God's going to see you wherever you are. God's going to meet you wherever you are in your life, without a shadow of a doubt. Do I think church is important? Yes. I have experienced it. I did go through it. It was very, very hard. It was very, very sad in my life. It did not take me away from God, and that's what I'm thankful for. That time that I was in there, actually in it, and actually sucking up the word, and actually hearing what was being said from God, not from the voice of the person who was ministering, but from God himself. It made me confident when I left. it made me just a little bit more confident in the fact that knowing God is who God is, and God is good, and God is love, and God is mercy, and God is just all these things. And so, unfortunately, whatever she attempted to do to me, she had already did it too late. God had already penetrated my heart and my world and my life and my mind. And so when I left it from that church hurt, I was prepared. God knew it was coming. So I was prepared, and I took God with me, and I finished being homeless, because even after that, I was homeless for like, I think 2 years or a year and a half after that. And here I am still praising God, giving God all the glory, giving God all the love, despite all the trauma in my life, despite all the shortcomings in my life that I've had my hand in on my own, or that people have done to me. And here I am, I'm still praising God. I'm still giving God the glory. I'm still giving God the love. He is still blessing me despite whatever my actions are, whatever my sins are. And nobody can take that away. Not even church hurt. I just want to come in here and say that to you guys. I want to touch on that because church hurt is a real thing. People really are hurt by the people in the church house claiming to be these people of God. And like, because you go to church and you go every Sunday, does not mean your heart is pure. It does not mean you have good intentions. It does not make you a good person sometimes. That's just the truth. It's just the truth. Not everybody is meant to lead. Not everybody is meant to be sent by God. Some people just here acting like it. They're the ones you want to watch out for. But trust that whatever happens, God has the last word. God has the last say. And God's karma and God's revenge. Let me tell you. When I say sit in prison, when I heard about it, I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. But as soon as I heard about it, my mind reflected on what it was you did to me, and what it was you said to me, and about me, and how you treated me in a time where I really needed help. And so I was like, well, good luck to her. And it's a hard thing to go through. Maybe you should have been picking up the word. Who told you to go kill somebody? Like, that ain't what God said don't do. Okay, I'm gonna get into it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say that to you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Oh my God. If it's not ashy hands, it's something else. On the day I don't wear my black bra. I'm gonna get out of here and see you guys in the next video. Make sure you're following on Instagram and Snapchat. Thank you for all the love and the support, and just the comments and the prayers and just the constant shares I just get from you guys. The feedback is so awesome. I really, really, truly love and have so much love for all of you out there who support me. And we're going on this journey, and we just gained like a great amount of followers in like the past 3 days. So thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you. I love you so much. If you see me in the streets, don't be afraid to speak. Okay? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.